This is the video for routine 100 of the pattern fit game. Starts out by setting the value in equally likely to 5, G to the game number, then it does a reset to the probability distributions because this is initializing the game, so it wants to start at the beginning. Then it sets the rotation control register to 0, the XY position to 500, 500. It's going to create a pattern, and the center position of patterns is always 500, 500. Then for I of 0, down here to 32, one at a time, it's going to go around this loop 33 times. First, in the loop, it's going to get a random value, okay, using the seed and the possibility of 5, so it's going to vary from 0 to 4, and it's going to use that for the size parameter because it's putting it into the S control register. Multiplies it by 12 and then adds 200 to it. So that's the size it's now going to use for this vector. So it's randomly going to change the length of this vector. So from the position 500, 500, give me the values for X and Y and put it in A and B. Multiplied A by 1,000, added B to it, and put that as the first number for the pattern. Well, that's because patterns always have the X and Y value together. The X value is multiplied by 1,000 and the Y value is added to it. Then it put that in the pattern, and then the next thing it does is it changes the rotation each time it goes around the loop. Well, let's go to the program to see if we can understand this. Here, say, is the center of the black. Well, what it did, it went straight up and randomly vectored to this point, then it vectored to this point, then in this point, then this point, then this, till it went around and did it 33 times. That's what it was doing. It was making this random shape pattern. Now I'm going to go back. When it finished doing that, it put the control number in front of it so that it's defined as being a pattern. See, pattern fit, the first value is going to be this control number that says there's 32 values in this pattern. And the next line says, take those 32 values and also move them to pattern test. Now I've highlighted the rest of it in green. It starts out again picking a random number of equally likely, which is 5. This value it's going to put in X. This would be a value randomly from 0 to 4. It's then going to set that answer to answer pick 3. That's where it's going to put the X. And then it's going to multiply the X by 20 and add to it 760. So what's going to happen is the value is going to go, this is horizontally so much, and that's going to make it a random placing. Next, it does a rotation value, R, and picks a value for that from 0 to 4. Then it stores which answer it picked, and then it says multiply that by 192. That's because 4 times 192 is a complete circle. Then it's going to do the same thing for S, which is the size parameter. It's going to remember which one it was from 0 to 4, multiplies it by 10, adds 100 to it, and then again for T, which is going to be the tall wide parameter, that's the ratio of tall to wide, it's going to pick a random number for it, and it'll go from 0 to 4, and it saves that, which one it was. And then it says multiply it by 20, and then add to it the ratio value where it says it's 100% of tall, but the wide part changes from 60 and then changes by 20 until what it becomes, well, 140, I think. So it goes from being smaller to larger. And then it does the TAW action on the pattern. So it actually changes the pattern to be that way. The other parameters here, it didn't actually change the pattern. Then the last thing it does, it fills the 4 values at test pick with 2, which the test pick is the options that the person playing the game has selected. It's going to set them all to 2 when it starts. Alright, that's the end of routine 100 of the pattern fit game.